Hello and welcome to the last episode of this year's series, The Artists Behind the Art. And what a year we had! Packed full of lockdown productions, artist series, filming our very first short movie earlier this autumn, and hopefully ending on a high with the last episode of this series and some very special invited guests. Now, we know that we've been quite quiet over the past few months. I had a very busy summer. I worked on quite a few projects in Hungary, and then moved back from Hungary to the UK earlier this autumn, and now I am just about to finally throw myself into this world of freelance artists. And to a certain extent, I do think that the production of this series has influenced my decision to actually take this leap of faith. So yeah. However, putting all that aside, we really should have kept you updated with the development of this series, and for this slight pause between the episodes, and for the slip of communication, we do wish to apologize. Now, before we head over to our invited guests, I wanted to take the opportunity now to thank everyone who's been on board of this project from the very conception, beginning and planning of it. Obviously, here I am thinking of my dear friends and editors, Beatrice Comoli and Carl B. Harrison, without whom these episodes would have seen the light of day. But also I would like to thank the audience who's been tuning in every now and then, and for the lovely feedback that you have provided us. And last but not least, to all of the invited artists on this series who have said yes to our invitation and have shared with us in a very generous way their thoughts and experiences, their drive, their passion, their ups and downs as artists, and their work. So thank you very much. It was a real honor to have you on our series. Our last episode features the up-and-coming Romanian jazz band Seventh Sense, and their tunes are just fresh, vibrant, not to mention original, and a delight to listen to. Many connoisseurs within this genre, within the music industry, regard their work as being a unique take on the Romanian jazz scene, and on what the Romanian jazz scene has to offer. And the artists themselves describe their music as being a fusion of different jazz approaches and a mixture of influences from South America through to the UK, from the Transylvanian / Romanian folklore to the raw and pure music experimentation, which usually comes and emerges from improvisations. But you know, guys, I'll let them do all the talking. And also, just a quick note, this episode has been filmed back in June. We only could put this together now, so probably towards the end of the episode, the messages and the information that they have, they will share with you, will have gone past. Sorry for that. Anyhow, putting all that aside now, thank you again for tuning in, and enjoy this episode, and welcome to the artists behind the art. Right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here there are. Would you care to introduce yourselves, guys?
Yeah, I'm Laura Benedek, and I'm the bass player and band leader of this group.
Hi, my name is Sergiu, and I'm a trumpet player of this group.
I am Lucas Contreras, and I am the guitar player.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And I believe you have another two members who are unfortunately not able to join us today. Would you like to introduce them as well?
So there is Adi Stoinescu on the keyboard or piano.
And Gabi Mate on the drums.
Wonderful. Well, hello Adi, and hello Gabi, wherever you are. Woo! Right, so I'll just carry on straight to the questions, okay? now I'm very curious to see and ask you personally now, like not as members of Seven Sense, but more as you as professional musicians. Why or what did influence you to choose your specific instruments? So what was that moment in your life that you said, yes, this is something that I want to put a lot of energy into? Or I don't know, what was it? How did you come to your specific instrument?
Well, if I would be to start, I came from a musical background.
Mm-hmm.
My family does music.
Mm-hmm.
My father being a trombone player, but he's doing classical. He's playing in the opera. So he chose basically for me the trumpet. I didn't quite have a choice at the beginning because it was too small to choose. And like when I do trumpet till 10 years, till I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, but later I started to enjoy it. At the beginning, as I said, it wasn't my choice, but I started to like it, and then I grew quite close to it.
Okay, that's
Yes.
so interesting to
And
hear.
I started with classical too, and I
Okay.
am doing classical
Mhm.
actually, like my main in my university. But I started to grow fond of jazz music, so I will continue to do this if I can, as much as I can.
That's so interesting though, you know, because you're going, you know, it's a very, I would say, exotic transition, you know, from classical to jazz. Classical being quite rigid, so far as I know, within the music industry, and then you go to jazz where it's a lot of improvisation, but also you have to know the elements and the basics of improvisation in order to be able to improvise, you know. So it's such a, I bet it was a very interesting adventure for you, Sergiu, as a classical trained trumpeter that transitioned ish to jazz, not ish, Beatrice, transitioned to jazz. Yeah.
Yes, it is, especially from classical. Like most of the classical people I know don't really, even they are professional, and I don't think they really can enjoy jazz from a start.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, it's quite, you need to know about it to enjoy it. Like it's a language, as we all say it about jazz. So yeah, it's a hard transition, but as I listened more, I grow the taste for it. It's you know, like you eat, you don't like spicy food, but as you eat more and more, you grow to be your favorite.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Like
The
yours.
same, yes.
yeah, yeah.
I like spicy food.
As well as jazz.
A lot, yes.
That's great, but you've put it really beautifully, and I think it's just really a thing that people should look up to, because it's hard work at the end of the day to you know, get along with two major, like two ways or two different paths within the music industry, especially classical and jazz, and to combine it so harmoniously the way you did it, Sergiu. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
What about the other ones?
Do you tell or do I tell?
I don't know.
Let's
Go,
continue.
Lucas.
Yes,
Okay.
with exotic, let's
Okay.
continue.
The exotic.
So, okay, I'm
The
exotic
exotic
one. So I'm from Colombia.
Woohoo! Yes.
And when I was a teenager, my dream was to be a soccer player. Like
Right.
I was so obsessed with that. But as Sergiu, my family is in love with music.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather was a guitar player and
Right.
singer, and my uncle is a jazz piano player and a singer too. So they always say to me, you maybe should pick up the guitar and maybe try it a bit. Oh no, let me
Let me be.
Yeah.
I don't wanna I don't want to play that of yours.
Yeah.
That is your problem. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mother, when I got 18 years.
When you when you were like
Yeah.
18, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give me that guitar there. The
Yeah.
electric guitar.
We shall take a
My-
picture, ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen, just insert it in
My
the
love.
edit.
and said, you should try. And I was so angry and so upset with that idea that it's my birthday and you
Bought me a guitar.
Of all the things that I can get for my 18th birthday, is it a guitar? Thanks,
Yeah.
Mom.
But after a few weeks, I got like, I should take the guitar in my hands. I should. My mom worked so hard for me to buy it, and yeah. So I took the guitar and said to my grandfather, please tune it up.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it, and it was a beautiful night. I got in my room, I closed the door, and I put it in the amp, and I just played the first chord, a minor.
Classic.
Yeah. And that was it.
And that was when you started,
Yeah.
at 18?
Yeah.
My goodness!
Very, very late, but it was like love
At the
from
first sight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was no, Beatrice. It wasn't love at the first sight, because otherwise
no.
you would have done it like from the beginning. But it was love at the first chord.
At the
First
first
touch.
touch. Yeah, at the first touch.
At the first touch, go on, get in.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, lovely. Oh, wow. That's so interesting. And again, with my previous invited guests on this series of interviews, it's very interesting how, apart from one, most of them have started doing their own art later in life. Like Lavinia, who's a choreographer, she started dancing like really late, not as a child and anything of the sort, but like at the beginning of her 20s, you know. And now she's a choreographer, really well-known choreographer in Timisoara, in the west of Romania, you know. Andrea De Kanchi is a photographer, and she's been playing around with photography as a hobby during high school and university, but she's only started doing it professionally like literally 4 or 5 years ago, you know. So it's so interesting. Like, nothing is impossible if you put your mind and heart and soul to it, regardless of how old you are, because it's such a cliche of, oh yeah, you're too old to do this. Who says?
Yeah, but I think it's different. It's like I could say destiny. Like you cannot escape from what you have to do. When you must do some things and you can't escape. I was just football and Morocco.
Soccer, no,
Soccer,
football.
yeah.
Football, where's football? So, yeah.
And no, the guitar is
It's your destiny.
the real thing.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's really inspiring, I would say. Yeah, thank you. Right, Laura, I think you're the last one by default.
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually grow up in a musical family, as you know.
Yes. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not noticed until now, we are sisters. Yes. Oh my goodness. Lucas, I know.
Wow. Yeah. So, but kind of like I was always surrounded with music and stuff, and I was lucky enough to have an older sister who was
Who
listening-
is that older
I
sister?
don't know. Who was listening to all kinds of music, so she really kind of influenced my musical taste. So that's where it kind of started. And then when I was in the 5th grade, I joined a choir and ensemble from Brașov, where I was born. And it was like we played lots of instruments like metallophone, xylophone, blockflöte, I don't know how it's called.
Recorders.
Yeah,
I mean,
recorders and stuff like this, and we played from classical stuff to really new gospel things, and I joined like the choir till I finished school, and also after that at university when I had the time. And in the 8th grade, my sister was in the 12th grade, and she was playing the bass guitar in this choir. And because she was in the 12th grade and she had to prepare for the
Final exams?
yeah, for the final exams, she didn't have the time to come to rehearsals, and the conductor of the choir was like, yeah, we really need a bass player because we need it for the songs and so on. And she knew that I was playing guitar, and she was like, yeah, well, you surely know how to play bass, so here it is, take it and just play. So yeah, it's like, and I was like, okay, cool.
Sure, why
Yeah.
not?
And I just took the bass, and it was the most, like, now when I think back, it was really like a piece of wood and just some strings attached. It was really hard to play, and I was like smaller and also a girl, which was even harder, and the strings were so far away from the neck, so I was really struggling, but somehow it worked. Like, I just took the bass, I knew some of the notes from the fretboard, and it just went like this. I mean, I don't know, it just worked somehow, and yeah, that's how I started playing bass. So it wasn't like, oh my god, I saw someone and yeah, I just want to play that instrument. It just happened. And sometimes I really think it's like the kind of the instrument chose me, and I did not choose the instrument. Like, I really feel this also, like the bass is usually holding the band together and being a really good bassist.
Bass player.
No, bassist, like base.
Bass is foundation.
Yeah, a really good foundation, and it's not really in the spotlight, so it's kind of really represents me. So yeah, I have this philosophy.
It's so interesting what you said there, Laura, because literally with all the people I have spoken to during this series of interviews, the artists behind the art, all of them said that it's not that I have chosen my art or my practice, it's the art has chosen me. Photography has chosen me, choreography has chosen me, and now you come and say the same thing, you know, the bass has chosen me. So it's so interesting to see how, like, you guys, you've never met the other people, and still there are so many similarities, which just goes to show how the world of the artists, even though they're so different from each other, they still have a very, in my opinion, a very deep and very uniform and harmonious foundation basis, like something that's I think it's so much deeper than what people see or seek nowadays. Oh, that's great. So thank you so much, guys, for having shared this with us, and I'm sure that Adi and Gabi would have had fantastic stories too, maybe next time. But we've just arrived now, ladies and gentlemen, to that part where we have asked Seven Sense members to share with us some, their work. And we're going to listen to some of their songs. And after that, we're just going to have a little chat about it. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, some groovy sounds there. Like, guys, would you want to tell us more about this? What's the song? What's the name of the song? What's the story behind this song?
Yeah, so I think this one is probably the only song that doesn't really have a theme or like a history, because like it's called Almost Five, and 2 years ago I think we composed it when Sergiu was on the piano, still on the piano playing with us, and mostly when we rehearsed we started with a little jam to warm up, and Sergiu has come up with this
like a musical
idea,
motif.
Motive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one you hear from the beginning of the song, and then somehow everyone tuned in, and this is how the song took shape. And after that everyone came with some ideas, like for example the second part, which is like
The groovy
slow,
one.
the groovy one, this more slow, no, the groovy one, like Gabi came up with the idea to make it slower. So everyone came with some ideas, but it was basically a jam which turned out into a song.
Okay, well, the song is called Almost Five, as you know, but the main idea was so like the motive that makes this song is a succession of, it normally would be 5 pitches, notes, but one is muted, it's not heard.
Right.
So it's 4 with one which is missing. So that's why we called it Almost.
Oh, gotcha. That's so interesting. Yes.
But it's also about that we are 5 in the band, always 5, but always
someone's
someone-
missing.
someone's missing. Someone
As you
is
can see
changing.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, we changed the piano player. Maybe Gabi doesn't.
Yeah, couldn't come because he had a gig
Yeah.
or something, or
So
yeah.
that's the real thing.
It's a very representative
Of
name. I
yeah.
think.
It's a very
For
representative
us, yeah.
team of 7 Sense. Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
should do a meme about this, guys. Just saying. I think it would go viral. Just saying.
Almost fine.
Exactly.
Great. Shall we carry on with the second
Yes.
song? Yeah. Right, ladies and gentlemen, you have not seen our lovely musicians here just grooving on their beats behind the scenes. Myself too. But this is another own composition of Seventh Sense, and I think this has been played at the Green Hours Jazz Fest in Bucharest. Yeah.
It was 2 years ago, and we actually we formed and we had the first gig 2 years ago in March, at the end of March, and 2 months after we opened the 11th
festival.
the 11th edition of the Green Hours Jazz Festival, which is a pretty renowned a jazz festival here in Bucharest, but also in Romania. So it was a really big honor for us then. Like it was like a dream to open such a festival, and we till then we played covers, but not jazz standards, but from the UK jazz scene, because that's kind of the main inspiration for the songs and what we're doing. And for this festival particularly, I really wanted to have some originals, and I know it was pretty intense then, and we composed like 4 songs in 2 weeks, in 2 months, or 1 month, 2 weeks, something like that, like really intense rehearsals, and this was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called Wild Birds, and it's this like Afro beat, and it's like very groovy, and you can dance on it, and you just feel good on it, and it's inspired by a band from the UK, Ezra Collective, and from their first EP, Juan Pablo, and we really love the groove, and we wanted to have a song like this.
Fantastic.
And the guys can complete with other stuff if they want to. I won't talk so much anymore.
I don't think there is nothing more to add.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's just
Then I will shut up for the next one, I promise.
Well,
the composition process was very easy. The melodic lines came like very on spot.
mm-hmm.
They fitted very nice on what we came up with the rhythm she talked about, the African beat or something. Yeah.
Actually, the groove came from a gig that we had with Andrea Maria. That is one of the singers here in Bucharest.
Yeah.
And he just wrote something about wild birds, and sorry. She wrote something about wild birds, and we just
so she sang, she had some lyrics for it, and we really loved the groove, so we made it like an instrumental version
for the festival.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And it remained like it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Right, last but not least, another song that you've performed quite lately in a project, I think, right? This was quite a recent thing that you've played together. Would you like to tell us more about the song and about the environment, or not environment, Beatrice, about the event that you played this song in?
Yeah, so I start with the event because that's easier. It's more logical to start with it. So we were invited by Alexandru Arcuș and Ana Cristina Leonte, who are some jazz musicians from here, from Bucharest, really, really amazing musicians, and who started this project Jam Circle, kind of inspired by the pandemic, to bring back to life the music and the Romanian jazz scene.
Mm-hmm.
So they invited, I think, eight bands were invited for this project, and we had to prepare 20 minutes of music of our songs, and it was filmed. And every 2 weeks, starting with April, they post a new band, and we promote it and share it, and it's just like a really good documentation of the Romanian jazz scene. So yeah, we played. This is from that series, and this song we played was the last one, and it's called After Leipzig, and it's a more personal one. I think one of the most personal songs we played. We composed this 2 years ago when Sergiu was also in the band, and 4 years, like in September, are already 4 years since I left to Germany with an Erasmus mobility, and I studied there for 6 months. So it was the most life-changing experience I've ever had. And after I came back in February in 2018, it was like the most hard time and challenging time for me, and I couldn't readapt, and it was a tough year overall, and I wanted to do a song which represented that pain and frustration and everything I've been going through during university and after I came back in Romania. So I told the guys, hey guys, I want to do this, I want to have a song which represents that. So I had the beginning of the bass line, and I was like, I have this in mind and we have to do something on it. And we were at Sergiu's and Luca's home, and we before the festival, 2 weeks before it, and we just put it on a loop on speakers, basically I think it was 1 hour, and we just listened to that bass line, and we tried
8 hours.
More like 8.
It felt like 8, but it was shorter. But yeah, and we just tried to come up with a melody that really represented what I felt, and I think at the end of the day we all felt during university. And as the song was the bass line was on a loop, Sergiu was doing in the kitchen. He couldn't bear to listen to that bass line because it's really it's super tension, you feel the anger, I don't know. And he started to swear. Exactly. And Lucas just picked up his rhythmical
from the swear, the syllables, and he took the swears.
Yeah, and he put it on the main theme. So it's a call response, do you.
Yeah.
So basically, what you hear there are swears.
Yeah. Yeah, and
without the actual words.
We took the rhythmical vibe from the swear.
And we put it into music, and it was perfect because it was actually what and in the end we all feel and felt and still feel about what we've been through with university and all the shit.
Yeah, it came with a lot of frustration.
Yeah.
That day, and that song is a lot of angriness.
Yeah, so that's the message of the song, and we kind of really just pour it all out on the song. It's super loud, and everyone's just
yeah.
When I say the swear is pula mea.
Sorry, mom. I hope you don't watch it.
So Sergiu Chirileasa, that was the piano player, was pula mea, and that's it. and we.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
For ladies and gentlemen, again, swear words, but we'll just put it in the captions. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Better.
But I mean, basically, the song is actually quite raw in that sense that it's there's nothing. I'm not. I mean, I'm going to say this, but don't take it literally. There's nothing beautiful about it.
Yeah.
There's the rawness
Yeah.
of and the
Yeah.
honesty of your feelings with regards
Yeah.
to your experience at university, from what you have been saying in just before, from your experience of the situation that you've gone, like situations that you have to go through on a daily basis as
Yeah.
musicians in a society where unfortunately the arts are not as valued as they should be. And this is not only in Romania, this is all over in Europe, unfortunately. And then trying to also convey a message that sort of maybe gives someone a hint of what you're going through. So it's really complex stuff here, guys, really complex. I'm just hats off for taking the courage and you know, to put yourself out there, not necessarily through words, although the words have influenced you a lot, but just trying to put your thoughts, your frustrations, your feelings, or your whatever is inside of you into your music. And I think that makes it really, really special. And I think this is it bridges so beautifully over to what would have been my next question, in terms of what do you find challenging as artists, as musicians nowadays, but also what is the message that you're trying to convey? Is it possible for you to answer both questions, or would you like to start with one or other? So what is the message that you are trying to convey with your music, even though you have already touched upon a few things as you were talking about the songs, and what would you consider the main challenges that you have gone through within your industry? Yes, yeah.
I have something to say. I don't know if I will answer your question,
No,
but
that's fine.
I think the beautiful thing about jazz and art, that is about
Spontaneity. Yes.
Thank you. Is that it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be beautiful. It's like
Preach.
It is what it is.
Just put what you feel and put it in notes, or maybe in colors,
painting, yeah,
or
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
movement, or in maybe words or whatever. And it's not about how beautiful it is, it's more about what make you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yes, beautiful can be depending on the emotion one like have in the moment. Like maybe someone wants to listen to something which is less beautiful, maybe like grotesque is the word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what you wanna hear right now, because maybe you're in that state.
Yeah.
So beautiful is very subjective of your emotional state in the moment, I think. So jazz is very close to that, to the emotion state.
In the present, in the
Yes.
present time and space. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you can very easily make a beautiful song if you take like what's mainstream right now. Like what's the most like lick is the word? Yes, like melodic line. Like you can listen to radio, okay, that's what people listen to. Okay, let me steal a little of that, let me make the perfect melodic line, and I will make the most beautiful line whoever will listen, but that's so
It's not real.
boring.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
live.
yeah, that's like marketing more than
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than doing
making
music.
art.
It's branding, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's branding, because
Yeah.
it's what is beautiful in the moment. It's made by the leaders of the music.
It's easy. It's copy paste. It's what
Yeah,
I've been
exactly.
saying. I've been talking about it. Basically in the past 10 years. It's someone, it's the same in theatre as well. In terms of someone is cracking the code, someone is like having a huge success with a theatre play. All the other companies start taking a little bits of this, a little bits of that, let's put it in our shows as well, and eureka, those shows are getting sold out. But it's not. But it's just a marketing strategy, as you said, Sergiu. It's nothing more than, well, someone else has cracked the code. We shall use it, and that's that. But there's no more there's a certain kind of laziness that young emerging artists are, and not only young emerging artists, even professional, established artists are using just to shortcut what creation is all about. I mean, artistic creation is all about, and artistic practice is all about. Yeah.
And I think this is very close to the other question you asked about. Well, what was the
message
or biggest frustration?
No,
the challenge.
The
Yes.
challenge
Sorry.
of
Yeah.
musician is that for me is when I see musicians that play something that they play something that the others may want to hear, which is okay, but then they stop what they want to play.
Yeah.
So I see this often, like a mask, you know, like a mask. They would do
like
exactly
like they're losing
like an acting.
themselves in the process.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Something like that, I think.
Like in daily life, we most of people pretend they laugh to a joke which was not funny to them, but they laugh because the other in the group laugh. It's the same. I don't. This is a big frustration for me because you can see on their face that was not funny.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to laugh if you don't.
It's that courage to be yourself at every single time, not caring about what other people say, you know, which is proving to be extremely difficult for more and more people. So people like yourselves are basically the minority in the industry, in the arts industry, you know, which is a bit sad. But equally, that's my opinion. Obviously, you can tell me if I'm wrong or not. But equally, through the fact that you're creating your music, especially, it's sort of like a reaction to all of this, you know, in a way, you know, because you are influenced, you are living in this society, and it's coming as a reaction as well towards what you're seeing in the mainstream, you know. So to a certain extent, that might also be a hidden message in your music. I'm right, or
yes, but it's good as long as you think it's your honest answer. It's, you know,
precisely.
Even if it's influenced, but if that's what you think it's right, and it's not a lie.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's also like, it's one thing to get inspired by something or influenced by something, but subverting that and making it your own, not like copying it, you know. It's like, okay, I've been influenced by that, I am inspired by that, but I'm not going to take it like ad literam. I'm not going to take it as it is and proclaim it's mine, you know. You're subverting it and making it your own. You're putting your own stamp onto it, and that's what Seven Sense is all about at the end of the day. You know, you're taking bits of things from the London jazz scene, from the London jazz scene, but not only, but also from you know, for the Black Lives Matter movement,
I think it's a combination of more, like, as I said, the UK jazz scene plays a massive role in what we're doing, or at least in what I'm trying to do with these songs, because it inspired me a lot. But also a major thing that really is important, I think, is the life experiences we've been through. So sometimes when I told the guys, man, like we have to compose some new stuff because we already played lots of times the old ones. We're like, okay, what are we trying to say with this song? Why are we trying to compose this? And what's the theme? So what do we want to do with these songs? For example, we have like I still remember when we composed another song of ours, like Light in Chaos. So we have the A part and the B part, which is more lyrical, and like with the B part, we asked ourselves, okay, what color do we see? What do we want to express with this one? And it was like everyone's like, yeah, it was white and pure and light, you know, and that's kind of the message of the song, because the first part is really hectic, chaotic, and the second one is like beautiful, like you just, okay, now I can relax, you know,
You can breathe.
yeah. And it's kind of like the message, you know, like light in chaos. And with all the songs, we have the new song Mama's Chest, which was kind of inspired by you should tell, because you inspired the lyrics. You inspired the lyrics. So Mama's Chest is the most recent one we did, and we composed it together with a really good friend of ours, an amazing vocalist, Miruna. And the main idea was like, when you're away and feel really kind of lost, and you always remember how it feels to be home, to have that place of home.
Yes.
So that's why. Am I right?
Yeah, it's how it feels like to be far from home, your hometown, but and your family, and what home means
To you, yeah.
It doesn't have to be a place. It's like
The feeling.
the feeling
Yeah,
of being
yeah.
home with you.
Yes.
with you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So that's why we called it Mama's Chest, for example. So I think it is the inspiration, and not only from the UK jazz scene, from everyone listening to lots of stuff. So we bring that in, but we also bring our life experiences, because at the end of the day, we want to express what we are and what we've been through, and to maybe help people resonate with us and get through stuff. So I
Guys,
think that's
just
the message. I hope.
I like literally just hats off for such young artists to be able to conclude these things, or to clarify for themselves these things at such a young age. And I'm not saying this in any belittling way or undermining way, but I'm only saying this because most of the people at your age would not even think about these sort of things. It's like there are better things to do ish, you know. So for you to be able to stay in the present time and let yourself be taken by the wave of this present time, as well as by the feelings that you nurture inside of you, and put that in your art, it comes through. And I am also a very I am a believer in hard work, you know, and making it through hard work. And it might be difficult at the beginning, but what you're achieving and what you're creating is an inspiration for a lot of people from different artistic backgrounds. And I'm saying this as myself as a theatre maker, that what you're doing, guys, for me is an inspiration. What sort of advice would you give to young musicians now trying to make it in this scene?
Should we make like each one?
Yeah, maybe
Something.
Yeah.
just a good step.
But for me it's
Don't go to
study. Study as much as you can. It will, and reward will come eventually. But you need to
patience.
study, and like
Be
as a
patient.
routine. Study is very important to a musician, any kind of music. If you want to do music, yes, there is no much like better advice than to study.
Yeah, I would say to find the right people, because if you don't find the right people, you can get lost, and like you can lose yourself in a really deep and dark space, and it's not good. So find the right people, and if you find them, stick to them and try to make the best out of it, and believe in what you're doing.
I have two ideas, but
Say them both.
yeah, one big advice that I had
Before.
yeah was never give up.
Yeah.
That's like It's very
Mantra.
simple, but you can put it in all context. If you have an idea
Mhm.
from a piece or whatever, or maybe a passage that you can't play it now, never give up, and maybe one
Mhm.
day. And with your dreams, so
Mhm.
maybe a big stuff, not just a song or whatever. And the other idea is, and it's more like inside joke here, don't let them win the fight,
Mm-hmm.
because in life you may find some people that
Will degrade you, like
Yeah,
belittle
like-
you a lot.
like, yeah, I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but sometimes you will find this.
Yeah.
To
Be
believe,
strong, yeah.
you have to believe that what you have, that light that you feel, or that beautiful thing that you feel when you play the music or dance or
Paint.
whatever you do, is more important, and you have to win that fight. Don't let them win.
Before we wrap it up and make a wonderful closure to this wonderful interview that I had with you young people, with you members of Seven Sense, do please tell our audience, our online audience, where we can find you. Which social media platforms may we find you on, etc. So here's your opportunity to do some self-promotion. Hit it.
We will play at Jazz Timisoara Jazz Festival.
Oh my goodness!
So
Woo,
we are very
woo, woo.
happy to be there. It's like a dream for
Yeah.
me. It's like a dream.
Like the biggest and the best festival from Romania. So
Yeah.
playing there and opening
Opening to
for some big
amazing.
acts. Yeah,
Yes.
it's crazy.
like
So when is it?
Yeah,
When?
it's on the 1st, like the whole festival is from the 2nd till the 4th of July, but we are playing on the 4th of July at 8 p.m. before Bocante. and Winter Marsalis.
Yeah.
So they are basically the shit.
The shit. Yes.
Yeah. No
So
pressure for us, but yeah, it's going to
we
be
are very
amazing. Like,
happy,
yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, we have other
July.
gigs, like 1st of July we're playing in my hometown, which I never played before, like in 6 years since I've moved to Bucharest. And we also have a special guest invited, and we also have another festival in Târgu Mureș, and we're playing a gig in Bucharest on the 23rd of June. And
Green Hours.
yeah, at Green Hours, are the best place from Bucharest and our
Yeah.
favorite place. And and you can find us on, like, I think the best social platform where you can also find our music is YouTube. Like, we have there lots of videos from our songs and different projects we've been involved in. And on Facebook, 7 Cents, and on Instagram, and I think that's it, basically. So check us out, like us, subscribe, share it to the world, all that shit.
You know, sharing is caring. I always tell you this, dear audience. I always tell you this. Like, sharing is caring. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Sergiu, Laura, and Lucas. It was honestly such an honor to talk to you and such an inspiration. And I wish you the best of luck with all of your projects, with all of your compositions and everything that you're doing, because you're great. And yes, Lucas, believe in yourself and never give up. I subscribe to that. I subscribe to that wholeheartedly. So thank you again for accepting the invitation.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, it was always a pleasure. And I really hope at one point to be able to have another conversation with you, who knows, in about 2 years or 3 years time, and see where you are at that point. Yeah, I'm really curious, but
Me too.
yeah, congratulations on the invite to Jazz Timisoara, which is fantastic news. And yeah, best of luck with everything.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You
Okay.
too.
Thank you.